Hello YouTube, welcome to another Sunday in the shop. This is all the stuff I've had to use to smooth out this golf ball. Can you see the shape of that and tell how much I've taken off? I've used two different sanding drums, fast feed my little rotary tool. This is a steel block with paper on it, sanding block. And then this. And that's been one of my best things by hand is that drywall screen. And I tell everybody, go on an expander, go all different kind of directions. It's actually getting a little smoother. Because what'll mess you up, it takes one little mistake, and the edge of that sanding drum will put a gouge in there. See that? That's really not a dimple. That's from messing up with the sanding drum. The little one seems to be a little better. This one. And then I have one even smaller than that I was using. It disappeared on me. Let's throw it around here somewhere, but okay, let's back off. I have a picture somewhere of this. I know it's messy and dirty, but it don't matter. Let me clean it up. It's how dusty it is in here. And I can't use my filter box. It's not working right. A little bit. I had that blue stripe painted white. I didn't like it. I put brown primer over it. I didn't like that. So I took my X-Acto knife and actually cut through there. I always say that, actually. No, I lied and said I did. I cut through all the paint and cut around there and then scraped it all out. And I have a picture somewhere. I hope I didn't lose it. So when I painted that in there, I flowed right up to the edge. So let's wipe this off. We'll come right back so you can see it better. And it will roll right off the dust. Okay, made it be better. This has a very, very heavy coat of clear. I had this painted, boy, it's hard to remember. I had this painted orange, spray painted orange, okay? And this is spray painted blue, and I was going to have white. It should kind of look like a marble. It did not look good at all. Well, I started painting my amber color over it and see what it did. It was ripping it right down. The dark spots are right down to the bare plastic. That was making it kind of red, the orange with the gold, and the dimples. I just kept going. I just figured it's going to be a weird looking, because you know marble would be all weird glazed colors when they glaze it and bake it in an oven. And this ain't too bad. This is that stoplight red. It looks really dark on here because, like I said, it went over top of a blue, dark blue paint. So this is not transparent at all. This is my stubby screwdriver. You put the straight in the Phillips. Yeah, the idea was to kind of put a line like marbles, have that wavy. Enough of that. Let's take a break. And then we'll come back and show you when we have the golf ball done the best that we want to. We'd like to paint it like a super ball. We need to go find some pictures. If you told me, remember the super ball, it had all them just painted lines all over it. So that's what we want to paint on that. Now that we got a new can of clear, we're ready to make some stuff and clear coat it. I mean, that's pretty shiny stuff. Not too so much on that blue enamel, but that's already pretty shiny when it dries because it is like a clear sparkly lacquer with the sparkles in it. A couple of pictures of that. Focus. We'll be back. Okay, what do you think? You can sure tell it's hand painted. I can come up with all kinds of excuses. Old bumpy paint, cheap brushes, I'm getting old and shaky. I just was just doing it as I went. I made that light green. I swore it's more lighter in real life than on the camera. It's like these two purples. One's a little bit different shade. And I made the light blue by just adding some white. White, that's flat gray. And a little secret. This set overnight with a clear coat, right? And I had the clear coat on there, like I say. If it's starting to look cloudy and milky, you've got it on pretty thick. It can run real fast. That's why I say put a coat on there and let it dry. So you set this paint from running and then flood it with more, brave as you are, spraying it on. And the next day is take just like this napkin, it's abrasive like sandpaper, and just rub that thing. You'll take off any overspray. I might get better at it, or it might just stay just bad. But still, you get back here from a distance, right? Now, I want to show you. You get back here like this be about as far, like I said before. This be about as far as if you was sitting here at the steering wheel and looked down at the shifter knob. I mean, the further away, the better it gets. You look at real paintings, oil paintings. You can tell how it's globby, and you know what I mean. It's the way it is. Like the old oil painting art. It's globby. Because when you get back, you don't see that stuff. You see the colors and the pattern and it's just whatever. Don't be afraid to do this. If you make a few mistakes, like down here, it's really messy. Where stuff came together, don't worry about that. You know what to say, an artist's worst critic is himself. But obviously, if you try to do something perfect, it's still going to turn out pretty darn good. But there you go. Enough of that. Spinning it. Ain't that cool, though? You got to kind of get a kick out of it. I guess you got to have the young child still in you, marvel at. See, now making a shadow. Pretty trippy. Let's make a barber pole someday. There you go. We'll snap some pics. Isn't that a nice screwdriver? That could have been a snap on it or something. With the shank. That was a high-dollar screwdriver. That was not a cheap screwdriver. Right here proves it. Chrome vanadium. See? That proves it's high dollar. Okay, let's think of something else to do. And we're just in time for the train. Oh boy. I don't want to laugh, I'll start coughing. It rained last night, so it's like 65 degrees outside, so it went from 105 heat index yesterday. I come out here with like 90 plus, so I've got the heater going. You just can't win. But it sure is nice in here. Got the fan going over there. And it is a Wednesday. Don't ask me the date. 14th, 15th? That sound right? Okay. See where I went this direction with the 220 sandpaper? See it down there? And then this way. You make like a Hone X pattern. And this is angled with the drywall. This is really good stuff. Here, and I'll go ahead and wipe it off. You see, it's just a little too rough. See, I went straight. Trying to get the light on there just right. This vise is so handy. This little pry bar. Y'all remember where I got it from? I mean, you can take a screwdriver and bend it like that, a wide tip screwdriver. See how wide it is? Back off. I was getting too close. Okay, we're going to paint this and clear coat it. This is black. It's going to take some paint to go over this. But I've experimented, just with those plastic balls that I use. So I haven't experimented with paint on this kind of plastic. So we're going to see what happens. We're going to put a little bit of paint on there and let it dry. Then we'll be back and we'll just experiment. We can always wipe it off. We want to see how good it sticks to it. Okay? That's like a factory seam out of the mold. It's more crisper than here. But oh boy. That drywall screen, you talk about take corners off of wood or plastic, it'll take that corner right off. That's what I like showing. And I cannot tell you the grit. It's whatever grit they had at the store. That's for when you put your sheetrock up, you put your tape and your mud on. That takes the top layer off, that takes off and sands it down. Because sandpaper, you'd go bankrupt for buying sandpaper. The holes in there that cleans it out. And you'll lose that silicone, whatever, carbide grit. You'll see it sparkly. coming off. But you can buy a pack of it cheap enough that if I can ever find the package, I know I've got a few sheets left. And you're talking about I've had this quite a few years. Get up close to this stuff. People who've never seen this stuff. It's almost the same as your fiberglass window screen you put in your windows now, which it is. It's fiberglass screen. And then they glue that granules on there. See, there might be a piece right there that fell off. Yeah, see it over where someone's fell off? Of course, some of that's the plastic residue, dust. See, Sunday we can do this more in depth. Let's put some paint on there and let it dry and see what happens. Get the camera strap out of there. You know, when you're outside, like I always say, wrap that thing around your wrist. Get this camera strap around your wrist. I've dropped the camera. Put that thing on. Here, watch. I just dropped the camera. See? Safety tips of the day. My boxo paper. I got some of the better stuff at the back. All the garbage in there. There's nothing handier. Get you a box that you like the size of. This had a light bulb in it. And tuck your good stuff in here. Your beggar sheets and garbage. And if you're really desperate, like me, you'll empty the box out in the project. See part of a disc sander, round one with holes? You'll get in there. Like old, it may be old and junky like this one. It's got Bondo on it. But you don't want to throw it away. You might want to use it on Bondo again. Another tip of the day. Get your little box, put your sandpaper in. I mean, it's better than a pile. I used to have it piled on the back of the desk in one spot, but put all that assortment in there. You may dig and find, like, I need a real fine sandpaper, like a, you know, that 150, 200 purple stuff, and there might be a piece in the bottom. That is emery paper. See that? Be careful using this stuff. This stuff is nasty. It'll get in plastic and it'll get stuck in them granules, and it will look, you'll be scrubbing trying to get it out of there. So beware using this on wood or plastic. You really shouldn't do it. I use it to rip Bondo down with. Okay, like I said, let's paint this and see what it looks like. We'll do some experiment. We'll let it dry and we'll see how it sticks to it. Okay, time for the durability test. Here I put my paper back in the box. See back there, it's right where you want it, where you grab it. You just keep pushing that. I should have been a salesman. Okay, let's just take the razor blade first. Let me get up here. Let me get in focus. That's the point of it. Here's your blade part. Remember now, I put these grooves this way, which I think I might, because I think it'll hold the paint better. Plus it'll be more even flow. Now let's take, this is just a scrub paintbrush. I use this for putting in paint and see how junky it is. Let's get down there and just, and that's my gray primer, and it's, believe me, it's not that good of a paint. Well, let's go for some 220. Let's say you gouged the tool against something. You scraped it. Remember, this is going to have clear coat on it. Sorry about that. I got the bad habit. I mean, of course, that'll take it off. You know, that could be a form of a finish. You could put paint on there and then scrape it off. Here, let me get this turned a little more. Sorry when I do that. I look to the viewfinder, then I don't look to the viewfinder. Here, let's see if we can get this out of here with one hand. If it falls to the floor, we'll... There. So I get used to... Here I can judge it a little better. Remember, it's going to have clear coat over it. I'd say, depends on what plastic it is. You know, those cheap import ones, I've got some of them around there, whatever shape. But this ain't too cheap of plastic. You can tell that I polished it one time, maybe a little, probably not really with, I don't know if I flitzed it or not, but it's a pretty good quality plastic. I'd say it's just as good as Snap-on. We don't know. This was a proto or something? Does anybody remember the video of this? Should I go find it? What the name was on this thing? Or just some generic name? I know we're wasting time with ascending the shop. We just don't care. I'm debating on how long I'm going to keep doing. I don't get a lot of views. I'm not whining or complaining, but my last one, I don't even think there's even a single comment on it. I really don't think there is. There might be by now, but I know it's summertime, people are busy. Probably only got about 30 views or something, but I'm going to tell you don't know what you're missing. I might stick a video on there or something. Like that little colored ball with the stripes on it. What do you think? Would you paint it and put clear coat? We're going to do it, so it's going to be a big surprise what color this is going to be when we come back. I just regret not having any metallic blue, or it would be metallic blue. It would be. Okay, we'll be back. This will be painted. I may show you a real quick clip before I put the clear coat, because it's going to have to take all day to dry before you can clear coat it. Do not clear coat till this paint is cured. Especially this modeling enamel. This stuff could take 24 hours to be tack free. So, like, buyer beware. Don't be spraying clear coat on paint that's not dry. It will never dry, and it can actually run and sag on you. So, you know, proper preparation. Okay, we're going to take a break. We'll work on this. We'll get this all roughed up. I kind of like how I got that rough finish in a straight line with the, let's say, drywall screen. Yeah, because you know the paint will go in there, in the grooves. Okay, we'll be back. Primer and paint your hands first. You're going to be chasing your tail like a dog. Like doing the grumpy old guy. And don't ask me what this is. There's a design. Can you see that little weird teardrop scribble in there? What is that? I didn't put that in there. Oh, don't waste brush cleaner if you're going to be painting. I'm only going to take a 5-minute break. Just clean it off. And that's my primer brush. See how it's a scrubby little... It's not that scrubby when I say it. It's just a simple little brush. That way I put only a little bit at a time. It's soaking right in. Drywall screw. Whoa, back off. Drywall screen and run it lengthways. The paint will hold in the groove. I think this is going to work. I come across a lot of these cheap plastic screwdrivers and paint them. I mean, spray painting, I suppose you can, but we're going all out. We're being artistic. Is what they call it? Artistic. I shouldn't waste a picture on that. We'll just give you that. There you go. Do the ends first. Trust me. You'll be glad you did. Don't trust me. That's like telling a used car salesman. Trust me. Don't. When I say that, it's a joke. Okay, real quick clip. I've got 1200 grit sandpaper. This works better, because sandpaper will clog up. Even though I let this dry, it's still gooey. And I'm like this far out. So when I press down, I'm not pressing down very hard. And I'm just getting the lumpy stuff off. You can press a little bit harder, but I'm barely touching that. I'll get that, especially around the corners. You might see somewhere I missed. Oh, and saying these corners, paint don't stick to a sharp edge. The sharp edge right down here, I guarantee that paint's going to chip someday. There you go. Now we're going to paint it. I mean, there's a little primer disappeared, but it really seemed to stick good. And this is just flat gray paint, but as in model car paint is gooey. It never really, it does not ever dry to a super high gloss. It just does not. At least the stuff I've got doesn't. Now I have to decide what color. It's going to be just one solid color because this is an experiment. I'm thinking about mixing up some of that light green. I don't know. I don't want to use my metallic. That stuff's messy. And I don't have no thinner, so I can't thin no paint out. And that could be a mess too, because that'll lift the primer up. So if we have to, we'll go over and scrub with this again. Because remember, this is going to have clear coat on it. So whatever you got on it for scratches is going to fill in pretty good with your spray on clear. And I'll leave a picture of the can of that again like I always do. It's just cheap stuff from the Dollar General store. And I do not get paid to show any products I use in my video. There we go. Back to work. Okay, we're done with this wild thing. That pinkish color was great till it hit the green. So we had to put a little black in it. Some and make like a darker gray. We got our purple. Kind of messed up on the end a little bit. It's kind of globby, but 2 coats clear. I don't think it's going to wear off. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Always look at the pictures, because I took some pretty nice pictures of this. In fact, I think I'll make something like that for the beginning of the video. Whatever they call that, the thumbnail. There you go. We're out of here.